All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. A little while ago, I was flitting through Chris Stuckman's reviews. Chris Stuckman's one of the only reviewers that I still keep in my subscription list. I think he is, like, as far as YouTube goes, the best movie reviewer on YouTube. Red Letter Media does an incredible job. I love their style too. But as far as like professional, with some swearing, because he's honest, Chris Stuckman is the best out there. And when he tells me, like, if he gives me a recommendation, I usually go for it. And I haven't done a movie review in a while, and I don't count Breaking Bad on Netflix. So when he talked about this movie called The Nightingale, which is the follow-up to The Babadook by Jennifer Kent, not the follow-up, not like a sequel, but her next movie, after his review, I could not wait to get my hands on this movie. But I'd been at the theater, and you couldn't rent it, and I didn't know when I'd be able to review it. I was actually really desperate to see this movie after he reviewed it. And I've had a hard week. I've had a hard few months. It's ever since the incident in September. I haven't been able to be myself and review things like normal. I've been reviewing comics, which is great. I am so happy I've gone back doing them. But I haven't been able to really review like I used to. And so it's almost as if the universe dropped this movie on me, like to just give me a little gift. So The Nightingale is on Hulu. If you have not seen this movie, I can't recommend it highly enough. Just like Chris said, this movie is fantastic. This is my favorite movie on all year, and I don't count Endgame. It's on a whole different playing field. I'm talking, like, when you talk about best pictures, this is what I'm talking about. And if this movie, I believe this movie had come out before The Revenant, this movie would have been, like, that year's, like, I think this movie would have taken all the Oscars. I don't know if this movie will win any Oscars. It should. It should win for Best Actress. It should win for Best either actor or supporting actor, both. Best Picture, Best Cinematography. This movie blows me away. At the same time, this is a very rough movie. Not as rough as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I'm a little desensitized. But there's moments in here that made me think of the movie Hostiles. This movie makes me think of, oh gosh, it'll come to me. So we're gonna have to wait till I can remember what I was gonna compare this to. But this movie, there's a lot. Okay, well, one thing that has in common with the Babadook is there's a lot of screaming. I can't watch the Babadook anymore because of the kid and the way he squeals and screeches. I can't do it. I can't. It jars me too much. I hate that sound. There's a lot of crying in this movie, especially in the first part. And so if you can get through that, you can watch the rest of this movie. But that's on me. So this takes place in Australia, in the colonization of Australia, where this girl named Claire, who's played so magnificently by Aisling Franciosi, I'm probably butchering that. You might know her as Jon Stark's mother on Game of Thrones. She was also on The Fall with Gillian Anderson and the guy in the 50 Shades movies. I forget his name. He was also the huntsman on Once Upon a Time. Jamie Dornan. But she was in that. And she gives an amazing performance as this woman who is from Ireland. And remember, Australia was a prison colony. Yeah. So if you did something bad, really bad. I don't know what would constitute sending you to Australia, but I mean, to go to the other end of the world, basically. It's like Alcatraz, a giant, giant, giant continent-sized Alcatraz. And the people that are there, the Aborigines, they were slaughtered and extinguished by the British. And the British people that were there, they were stuck there too. And some of them, it kind of, you see a lot of madness in this movie. A lot of people that have just, without any, oversight, people become animals. Savages themselves. And the bad guy in this, there's a few of them. The main one, played by Sam Claflin. Holy God, is this man unredeemable. It's one of the best performances by a person playing a bad guy that I've ever seen. It is so... Everything in this is so believable. That's one of the reasons why it's hard to watch, is that you believe Sam Claflin. Oh, boy. Another person in this that's a bad guy, Damon Harriman, who's been in a lot of stuff lately. He was Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's on that show, Mr. In Between. You've seen him everywhere lately. It'd be nice to see him not play a complete scumbag, but he is almost always a scumbag. And then we've also got a really great breakout performance by a man named Baykali Ganambar. I hope I said his name right. I really wanted to get his name right. He plays this Aborigine named Billy. Now, this is a revenge movie, and something really, really, really terrible. I'm going to pause it because I don't want to really show anymore. But Claire is a girl who made some mistakes. She got sent here, and now she's worked off her debt. She is paid. I don't know why that just turned back on. She's paid her debt, and this guy won't let her go. Now, seeing that this is a continent, they don't just keep people in jail cells, all right? You're free to run around. You can't go anywhere. Where are you going to go? It's an island. And you're surrounded by outback. There's really nowhere to go. The whole island is the prison. There's Aborigines that are wanting to kill the white men, which, understandably so, kill them all, in my opinion. It was how I was thinking in this. This is basically the Wild West. This is the same basic thing that we did to the Indians. Our ancestors did. I hate saying we. And so they let them live lives. So she's married to another person. She's had a baby with another person. She just can't go anywhere. She can't go back to Ireland. She write her ticket home. And he will not give it to her. Because he's stuck there. She's stuck there. These small men, these evil men, these crazy people, these people that have been stuck there for way too long. These men who are out there slaughtering Aborigines. And so the worst happens. Which is what reminded me of Hostels. Is there, this is one of those movies where, you got a crying baby, what do you think's going to happen? And so the worst possible stuff happens to her, and they leave her for dead. And they take off across the bush to go to this military base. They're forced to go there on foot because the man in charge says, he sees what this guy is, but he does nothing about it. But he tells him, I'm not going to recommend you for any kind of service. If you want to go out there, you go out there and you walk there and you plead your case. So they leave, and she follows with revenge on her mind, and she runs into this man named Billy, who's an Aborigine and native of Australia, and they go off on a journey. She tells him that they're going to find her husband. She doesn't tell him the whole story, and it's their journey to find these men and kill them. And along the way, we see these horrors. See, horror movies, actual horror movies. Horror movies, Friday the 13th, Halloween, things like that, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they don't scare me. They're full of, there's jump scares and crap like that, but they don't scare me. The first Halloween, you could say, is kind of scary because when it came out, it was more like home invasion, like people didn't lock their doors, that kind of thing. This to me is true horror. The horror that we do to each other. The real things. Watch any documentary. Watch the documentary about the West. That's true horror. The things that we do to each other. Because we're different or we want something. We want their land. We want their territory. We want the things that they have. And this movie is full of hard-to-watch situations that these soldiers are in, that Claire witnesses. And they're on their own journey too. And Billy and her become, as they grow as a unit, as you see these soldiers completely start to fall apart in their unit because of the things that they're doing and the trust that they don't have with each other. And you wonder how people could follow this man into battle, let alone walking across the outback. It's a very beautiful movie. It's a very haunting movie. It's a very hard movie. It's long. It's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. But once it was over, I was really glad to watch it. And in normal situations, I'd say that this is one of those movies that I'd say I'd never watch again. Like, it's so great, but I don't need to see it again. But it is a movie that I will see again. It is something that I'm not going to need to see right away, but it definitely leaves an impact. Most movies today are just, you go to the movies, you see freaking Hobbs and Shaw or whatever Marvel movie or whatever Star Wars movie or whatever freaking Disney cartoon that's out there, and you watch it and it might sit with you for a minute, but it just disappears and you move on to the next thing. It's all disposable, a lot of it. Movies used to stay with you. Movies used to leave an impact. When we talk about movies, when people talk about movies these days, we're always going to the past. I don't know a lot of people that go, oh, hey, remember that movie from last year? Or, hey, remember that really impactful movie from blah, blah, blah? No, we're always talking about Goodfellas, Silence of the Lambs, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And this is one of those kind of movies that stays with you. And it should. It should, because what's going on here is real movie storytelling, real cinema happening here. Now I can understand, I don't necessarily agree with what Scorsese and Coppola said about Marvel, but I get it, and I think a lot of people are taking it the wrong way. But when we talk about cinema, when they say that Marvel movies aren't movies, it's because they're disposable, they're popcorn. While I enjoy them quite a bit, they're the things, that I don't know how much further I want to go down this road, but I'm just saying The Nightingale falls into that classification of classic movies that leave you, whatever you feel, whether you like it or hate it, it will sit with you. It will haunt you. It will be in your mind, and it will probably bother some people that they can't get it out of their mind. If you have problems with movies that deal with rape and murder of innocent people, and by innocent I mean, the real innocence. If you've been through a kind of trauma, if you've lost a child, this might be hard for you to watch. Because the cruelty in this movie and the violence in this movie is very realistic. And feels like it's really happening. And it's a smack in the face to, the history of Australia, but also to me, just in general of how we treat each other. And I'm no different at times. I can be cruel sometimes. I can do things that are passive aggressive. I can do things that I say I'm a nice person, but sometimes I'll be mean for no reason. And movies like this make me realize, how much more we need to grow as people and how much more we need to change We're still killing each other in this country and around the world in droves over silly things. We've conquered the world. We have conquered this planet for the most part. And we're still killing each other. We're still hurting each other. For what? For our little differences? The colors of our skin? For the contents of our wallet and the bank account? Because somebody has something you want? That's why movies like this are important, to remind us that we need to be more human than the humans in these movies. The people, like we need to look to the past to remind us of how to act in the future. So, I highly recommend this movie. It's not going to be for everyone, but I'm really, really, really glad that I got to talk about it. I want to thank Chris Stuckman for reviewing this movie and recommending it, because I might never have known about this movie otherwise. Even if I saw it on Hulu, I might not watch it without his recommendation. Because the guy knows movies, I'll tell you that right now. So if you get a chance to watch it and you have Hulu, like I said, it comes with a subscription. So watch it. Watch it and tell other people about it. And I hope that the Academy recognizes this movie for the direction, the acting, the cinematography, everything. This movie is going to stay with me for a good long while. I purposely wore my Shawshank shirt because I was like, man, I don't want to wear some comic book shirt right now. Because this movie's not like that. And even when I chose my music for the intro, I was like, I need to play something that's not like, you know, I wanted to play something appropriate. And so, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. And so with that, I say, remember to be kind to each other. You know, take a look at your family and be thankful for what you have. And think about some of the things maybe you did. Maybe think about how we treat other people. Because I certainly have, and it makes me, realize that maybe I've been, that I've been a little unkind when I didn't need to be. And so with that, I say, have a great day, everybody. And keep watching movies, all that stuff. Be nice to each other. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.